What's up, guys? Crazy Black 108 here, and I'm back with another video. Today, guys, I'm here to give you a look at another D-Rose shoe, and this time we're looking at a D-Rose team shoe. A D-Rose team shoe that came out like almost, maybe it's all actually been a decade ago. It's close. Nope, it's very close. Not a decade quite, but it's close. So, over here, I got a box that the way everything's in here set up is kind of interesting because this is how the person packages it all. And I honestly can probably toss all that, which is all good and well. But it's a regular Adidas box. This is the old Adidas Performance box you know that we had. You pop it open, and inside is a Adidas Rose shoe. Like I said, it's a Adidas Rose team shoe, and this is the Rose 773 2s. Now, the interesting thing about the D-Rose team signature line shoes is that for the most part, every D-Rose signature line shoe comes out and then they would release a team sig, or actually the shoe would come out and then the team sig would come out before the new signature. It depends. But in every case, for the most part, it was reusing old tech on the Roses or from another shoe, except for like the 773 3s, which I don't own a pair of myself. Actually, I think my ex has. I bought my ex a pair of those, now that I think about it. Did she give those back to me? I can't remember if she kept those or not. Look, that part doesn't actually matter. Don't even know why I'm talking about that. The point is, the Rose 773 line is a shoe line that reuses old tech usually, or a slight variation of tech that's in the main line shoe, and now does it in the team line shoe. So this Rose 773 2, if you notice, this shoe looks very much like the Adidas Crazy Quick, and that's because it basically is the Adidas Crazy Quick, but with a D-Rose logo slapped on it. Now, the Adidas Crazy Quick was a new shoe that they brought out with a new generation Pure Motion. Pure Motion, you've heard me talk about in other reviews, is the technology that was used on the Rose 1s and 1.5s in combined collaboration with the Silipad traction pads on the forefoot. This new generation Pure Motion is basically just meant to do the same thing, where it's going to give you really great grip in every direction possible. And the thing is that there is this version of it that was used on these, on the on the Crazy Quicks, but then they also did the same thing, similarly so, on the Rose 4s. But those Rose 4s, the real place where there's a difference there is that with the Rose 4s, it was a thicker traction, and the pattern wasn't the exact same, but it was very similar. The nubs was very similar because you had those on this side, whereas on this side of the shoe, it was just a full foam piece, and there was an Adidas crash pad in the heel. Now, what's interesting about these shoes is I do not know how these perform performance-wise. I really couldn't tell you, okay? Traction-wise, I know was really great when these came out. This was a dead stock pair I got off of eBay from somebody, so, you know, shout-outs to them. But the traction on the Crazy Quicks, I remember, was pretty dang great. I got a sample pair from Adidas back when they came out, and I squeezed my foot into them, which was really a bad choice because they were really tight. But I played in them, and the traction was fantastic. The only thing bad about that shoe, honestly, I'd say would be the cushion. And it's probably the same thing with here because there just wasn't much cushion. Pure Motion is really kind of, I feel like, a descendant, and it may act like factually so, be a descendant of Adidas's Feet You Wear technology. And the Feet You Wear technology, everything with that is involved with having the most maximum amount of court feel possible. You want to be able to feel every pivot, every twist, every grip of the floor possible to give you the most traction, the most responsiveness out of the shoe, and really making you feel like you're, you know, the heel to forefoot transition is nice, along with making you really feel the court. And for some people that's great. For other people, they're like, oh, but my joints, I need cushioning, you know? So it just kind of depends. The thing with this shoe, though, that I felt like it's really interesting is that if this performs even at all slightly like the Crazy Quicks, probably be a pretty great shoe. I'm tempted to do that in them, but they're an older shoe, and even though they're dead stock, I don't know what would happen if I actually try to hoop in these. So that's something for me to think about. But this is also the first Rose signature team sig shoe that was not, that did feature the D-Rose logo on it. Before this, they just featured the Rose logo with the 3 stripes for the E, which is pretty dope. The first 773s, at least in my heart, are still my favorite because they were the most, they looked like they could have been a Rose mainline shoe and would have fit in perfectly. because they basically use the tooling from the only difference was the 2.5 from this, and from the 773 and the 2.5 was the upper and how they did the sprint web on there compared to how they did it on the 2.5s. These do use sprint web upper as well. You can see that all throughout here. They don't have the traditional sprint frame on here. This is a small TPU cup that you can feel kind of down here at the lower part of the heel. And that goes into with, like, I believe, the shin plate that goes into here that gives you some torsional support, which is carried throughout with the Adidas My Coach as well, where you can put the fuel cell in there. When you unlace this a little bit, I can pop this insole out for you guys to see. And this is one of those old classic thicker Adidas insoles, man. So this is one of those nice insoles. And this also has the D-Rose logo on it, which is pretty dope, you know, so that's a nice thing. When you look inside the stroller board, you really see there's really not much there to offer. You do see the outline for the heel cup, but you also can see in there that green spot for the Adidas fuel cell, which really was just with the My Coach. You could track your speed, your runs. I remember liking it because I could see in games where I went from like not playing much at pickup to like, or not like running as much, to where I was running real often, because you would see the spikes in the speed levels. I was like, yo, that's kind of dope, man. I'm fast. I think the highest speed I had on there that I tracked one time was like 18 miles per hour or something, which honestly, I really don't know if that's like anything to brag about. That could be kind of slow. Who knows? Basketball-wise, I don't know. But all I know is that freaky fast don't lie. And whether or not it was fast or not, it was fast enough for the people I was playing against. So I digress. But yeah, this shoe's pretty awesome. You know, there's no geo-fit in the heel, in these ankle pillow areas, but there is some nice softer padding right in here, which is cool. The materials on here are synthetics, you know, so it's like the crease, they probably don't feel the best if you break them in. But I will say, like, on a casual wear, these feel fine. And, you know, I've worn them a little bit, as you guys seen on feed, and I think they're a decent looking shoe. The 773 2s was one of the last. Well, actually was the last Rose 773 shoe, at the time at least, I ever really wanted. As time progressed, I didn't really care for the 773s, because the 773 3s I thought were pretty awful myself. I can't remember if my ex played them, but she liked them a lot. I think she thought they were okay, but they weren't her favorite shoe. I ended up getting her, she maybe played one game with them or so, because I got her a pair of Rose 5s after that, because I want her to have some boost in it, because boost is better, the traction is better on the Rose 5s. And so yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm over here saying, you know, I got my ex pair of 773 3s. I'm sitting here going like, you said you liked her? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, but it wasn't like, you know, it was no animosity, you know. I was like, I see your point. It's funny, because out the corner of my eye too, I just saw my Adidas Speed Cell, which, you know, actually, I want to grab it and just show up for a second for any of the OG Adidas fans that can remember this thing. Look at that. This damn fuel cell, man. You put this, you would take it out of this, and you would insert this into the shoe, and that's how it would track your speeds and stuff like that. So I still have mine. I don't think it still works. I don't even think there's an app still for it. I'd be curious to find out. But yeah, so, you know, the Rose 773 2s, pretty cool shoe. The 773 3s, I don't have a pair of currently, I don't think, and I'm not a huge fan of them, but I plan on getting a pair because I need it for the Rose collection. Same with the 773 4s, except I missed out on an opportunity to get those, and those honestly look like they probably would have been a pretty decent shoe. They use bounce for the midsole, and the traction seemed like it was pretty nice as well too, so that's kind of dope. And then following up with even that, there was the latest Rose 773, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's the latest one, which just came out this past year, and it actually released stateside. Surprisingly, compared to like the D-Rose Inglewood Boost or Lake Shores, or, you know, any of those shoes, or the regular Inglewoods, which was like a low top version of this shoe, actually, if I remember correctly. Inglewood 2s are like a low top version of this. The Inglewood 1s are like a low top version of the Rose 3s. And then the Inglewood Boost is like a low top version of the Rose 5s. There you go. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy watching this review. Making it through these days, gonna, you know, finish the battle. I will say that, you know, it's funny. Every year I've done this, I, you know, do this, and I think, okay, this will be cool and fine, but it's like the trials and tribulations that I face in the month of October. It's just funny, because every year, at least the past 3 years, it's always been something I've been experiencing that's made things tougher. But I think this is maybe the first year where God gives me the opportunity really to push all the way through and make it to the end of the month. So Thank you guys for watching reviews. Really appreciate the love and support you guys give me. Until next time, guys, peace. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.